my name is Kayla Statham, and I am the 4-H and Adult Ag Educator with Cornell Cooperative Extension in Rensselaer County. Today I'm going to go over some basics of raising rabbits and cavies. I usually do something like this, more of a hands-on workshop with kids right before the tailgate sale that's held up the first Sunday of May at the Schaghticoke Fairgrounds. So this is just to kind of help give them some basic information on the basic needs and care for their animals. So if they do decide to get some at the tailgate sale, that they are prepared to bring them to the Schaghticoke Fair as well. So let's get started. Let's see, here we go. So getting started, you've got your basic checklist. So just making sure that you get what you need before you get your animal. So you want a cage or a hutch, a feed dish, a spare dish for hay, bedding, a water bottle, treats, and toys. So some people even have two separate areas. They'll have a cage, and then they even have like a kind of set up like this picture right here that's big, plenty of room for them to hop around. Guinea pigs or cavies and rabbits are very social animals, and they need to get out and get their exercise. So if you don't take them out and let them kind of hop or move around your house, but you want them in an enclosed area, I recommend something like this. There are many toys. There's even a little blanket. You've got your container for hay, for food, and it looks like some litter boxes. So with rabbits, you can kind of train them like you can cats, and they can use a litter box. Because guinea pigs and rabbits are very clean animals, they tend to use one area of their cage. So going into general care, making sure you know your goals. As an ag educator, I like to hit on that, yes, you can get your rabbit for a pet, but you can also get it for meat and for wool. And with your guinea pig, they're usually more for pets, but you can also use them, both your rabbit and your guinea pig, to show at the county fair, state fair, or even other types of contests for those animals. So making sure that your pet has easy access to fresh water, fresh hay, and fresh food at all times. Again, guinea pigs and rabbits need to exercise, so giving them time to explore safely outside of their cage. Again, if you have an area like in the previous picture, that is great. If not, just kind of be cautious and aware of where they're going. Guinea pigs are slightly smaller, so they can get into small spaces under the couch if you have holes in the wall. And again, they are very curious animals, so if you have cords, kind of watch them if they're going to an area where you have a lot of cords set up, because they can chew them. Remembering to clean your pet's home at a minimum twice a week. And remember to be very gentle and quiet when playing with your guinea pig or your rabbit, as they can be easily frightened. And one thing with guinea pigs is that you can actually scare them to death. So I just have a quick example right here. So you have this picture on the left-hand side with the little white rabbit in it. That's a little too small for your rabbit. It could possibly work for a guinea pig, but again, you're going to want to give them more room. So I recommend something kind of like what's on the right, where you've got the 2 stories and a little bit more movement for them. If you have the space, then by all means upgrade to something like the wooden one down on the bottom right, or something even bigger. And again, just making sure that you have that water bottle, room for a food dish, and again, a separate dish for hay as well. So nutrition, I've got pictures of the food pyramids here for both your rabbits and your guinea pigs. So of course you don't want to give either of them 2 treats, okay? Both animals can get quite obese quite quickly, so limiting the number of treats that you give them. But the good thing about them is that they do like fruit, so you can give them a cup, some like grapes or bananas here, or apples here and there. Not grapes, sorry, bananas, apples. And then you've got your pellet feed that you can typically buy from the pet store. Then you've got your vegetables, and then your unlimited hay and grass. Again, making sure that they have access to that all day, every day. And one thing about guinea pigs here is that they cannot they cannot make their own vitamin C like most other animals can. So you have to give them a supplement in order to make sure that they're getting the amount of vitamin C that they need. Attitude and behavior. So behavior is the way an animal acts or conducts itself, and the attitude is the way an animal behaves, performs, or reacts towards a stimulus. So that's your posture or your stance, your movement, your voice, and appetite, which if you know how they act normally, when something is wrong with them, it would be easier to tell. So continuing on with attitude and behavior, your guinea pigs and your rabbits, again, are both very social animals. Your guinea pigs are going to make more noises and kind of high-pitched, like screeches when they get excited, and they do a little thing called popcorning, which is little hops that they do. When they are frightened or in pain, they may change this behavior and develop unwanted habits like aggression and hiding. A sign that a guinea pig may be suffering from stress or fear can include hiding most of the time. They can chew on the cage bars. They can overgroom. They can alter their feeding habits or their toileting habits. Again, both rabbits and guinea pigs tend to use one area on the cage of the cage. So if they have started using other areas, something could possibly be up, especially if they have a clean cage. They could overdrink, they could play with their water bottle, they could sit hunched up, reluctant to move, and repeated circling in their enclosure. With rabbits, they're a little more silent than your guinea pigs, so they have a more subtle body language. When you take them out of the cage, they can do a thing called zooming, kind of like your dogs or your cats do, where they're running all around the house. They're excited, they're playing. They can also hop and they'll jump. If they're bored, they can do a thing called teeth grinding. So making sure with guinea pigs and rabbits that you do have wooden toys or other things that they can kind of chew or play with is a must. They can do grunting sounds, which mean leave me alone, and they will show that they're hurt if you hear like a whimper or even a squeal from your rabbit. So a healthy animal, I have a few definitions for you guys. So the skin is the tissue that covers the body of the animal. You have the coat, which is the hair, wool, or feathers that are attached to the skin of animals as a covering. You have the mucous membranes, which is a moist covering that lines the natural body openings. So your eyelids, your mouth, your nostrils, and your throat. So the skin should be soft and pliable. The coat should be smooth and glossy, and your mucous membrane should be a pinkish color. Your properties of feces could vary between the species and the diet. So if you've got, for example, one food and you've just switched to a different feed, that could switch up the look of the feces of your animal. So this might be kind of hard to see, and I would recommend pausing my video on this slide. So this is common health issues in rabbits, and the next one is guinea pigs. So parasites like fleas, ticks, and ear mites are really common in rabbits. So again, making sure that you look at their fur. And it's kind of hard not having a rabbit in front of me, but what you can do is if you have it in front of you, you can push the fur up kind of like that way to kind of look towards the skin. You can also blow on it, which spreads the hair out. So again, you can get a better look. Red urine, bladder sludge, malocclusion. Again, obesity is really big in rabbits and guinea pigs, as well as hairballs. They can also get a heat stroke, and again, making sure that you look out for this at fair time because it gets really hot, especially in the rabbit cavie poultry barn. So just making sure that, again, your animal has fresh, clean water at all times. And fractures. Rabbits can actually easily fracture their legs. So then if we move on to cavies, again, I know it's a lot. I would recommend pausing the slide here. So I'll move it up here so you can kind of see this side. Again, guinea pigs can get mites. They also get respiratory infections, and they have dental problems just kind of like rabbits can get. Diarrhea, scurvy, and urinary problems. So your breed of rabbits. So I have a picture here from the American Rabbit Breeders Association with just a few of them, and I can see all of these at the Schaghticoke Fair. There are way more breeds than this. And then I have a chart over here on the left for you if you were interested in seeing what types of breeds are gone for more for wool or for meat, or even dual purpose breed there. And then you've got your cavie breed. So you have your long hairs and you've even got your short hairs. So again, just kind of looking through these, there are way, way, way more breeds than this. But this was the best picture that I could find and small enough to fit in a PowerPoint presentation. So again, just kind of making sure that you do your research with rabbits and guinea pigs. Again, with rabbits, if you're going for meat, for wool, guinea pigs if you're going for show. And in a minute, I will talk about the Standard of Perfection book, which is very, very important when going to a fair and different competitions. So off to the fair, making sure that you know your requirements. So at the Schaghticoke Fair, those who show rabbits, cavies, and poultry must complete 2 barn shifts. So you can do them back to back. You can spread them out throughout the fair. It's just signing up for a couple-hour shift in the barn. If things need to be swept up, you can, but basically you are being a 4-H ambassador at this time. Community members can come through. They can ask you questions, making sure that the animals do have fresh water. We do not want to open up the cages just so no one else's animal gets out. But if you want to take your animal out for a show and tell for the community members as they're going by, you are more than welcome to do that. Making sure that you have turned in your entry forms for our fair. They are due for 4-H August 10th. And so just making sure that you have it filled it out correctly and thoroughly and getting that in by the due date. Making sure you know your classes. So again, you can get a copy of our fair book once we have released that, and just making sure that you get your animal in its proper class. So that's where the Standard of Perfection book comes in. And I do keep copies in the office, so if that's something that you wanted to borrow for a couple of days, feel free to contact me. You can check it out and just bring it back when you're done. Again, just 2 to 3 days. Or even if you have a picture of your animal and you want to I highly recommend it, send me a picture of your animal, and then I can help you determine what animal it is, because it is very, very, very important to make sure that you get it in its proper class. I've seen it time and time again that the judge will say, you had a really good animal and I would have loved to score it higher if only it had been in the right class. So again, if you aren't sure, please send me a picture and I would be more than happy to help you figure out what class your animal goes in. And again, that's using the Standard Breed of Perfection to make sure that your animal looks and meets all of the requirements, because maybe you have an animal and you have a rabbit or a guinea pig and it looks like it could be one breed, but it also looks like it could be the other. So just making sure that we get it in that class of what standards it meets the most. Making sure that you have everything that you need. So with rabbits and guinea pigs, bringing your food dishes, your own food, water bottles and everything to the fair. You do get a tote that stays in the barn, so you can put everything in there, mark it so everyone knows that it's yours, but making sure that you're bringing all of those materials that you will need to the fair with you. And then again, if you have any questions, there are just so many resources available to you. Feel free to ask me, your 4-H educator. I have some resources in the office. I am more than happy to answer any question that you may have or send you something if you're looking for handouts on something specific. Ask other 4-Hers. There are so many kids who have done this year after year, and they would be more than happy to help you. You've got your 4-H leader, and you even have your barn superintendent through the duration of fair. And then as always, have fun. It is a learning experience. And so maybe you didn't place as high as you wanted. You got a red ribbon instead of a blue. You still showed up. You gave it the best that you had. Take the notes that the judge gave you and just be more prepared next year. Again, it's a learning experience from everyone. Even kids who have done this again, year after year, may not know something that the judge asks them, and then they just keep it in their mind and they know better for next year. as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is up on the slide, kls342@cornell.edu. I would be happy to answer any questions that you have. So I hope this presentation helped you, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye.